Today on CityCast Philly. It's Tuesday, everyone, which means we're rounding up the biggest news stories around Philly. We've got the details on why the University of Arts is closing its doors later this week, and 4th Street Deli reopens after health code violations. All that, plus a Philly news quiz that you can play along with. Let's get into it. It's Tuesday, June 4th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me today is Abby Fritz, producer at CityCast Philly. Hey, Abby.
Hey, Trinae. Happy to be here.
And Charles Tyson Jr., CityCast Philly's arts and culture contributor. Welcome back, Charles.
Hey, Trinae. It's been a minute, right?
It's been a minute, yeah. All right, we got to get right into this big news story. This all unfolded on Friday. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw the Philadelphia Inquirer had posted a story, and that was the news that the University of Arts would be closing its doors for good on Friday, June 7th. Y'all, it's June 4th. June 7th is on Friday. Like, what?
That's so
But
crazy.
it wasn't the university that made the announcement, at least not initially. Did y'all see this news?
Oh, yeah. I do believe I clutched my imaginary pearls and gasped like I was a character on a telenovela. Like, I literally went, because what? Like, they're getting ready to graduate and folks have already, put their deposits for next year. And what? They just got a new president. What?
Yeah, no, it just seems so out of nowhere. And I know some people that are like currently attending the school or were attending the school, and they're like, oh my God, what do I do? It's just, it feels like there's going to be a lot of shifting and people we're really not expecting this.
Right. So according to the Inquirer, the accrediting agency, the Middle States Commission on Higher Education, reported that the school had told them on Wednesday that they would be closing permanently. The commission also announced UArts withdrawn accreditation effective this past Saturday, which, according to University President Kerry Walk, comes after a lot of financial challenges and declining enrollment that had been building up for some time now. Charles, can you kind of walk me through some of these factors? Like, what was happening at the university?
That's the thing. No one saw this coming. Not a single person. And I've heard from students, and I know a lot of faculty, no one saw this coming. Everybody learned that they didn't have a job or a school at the same time from the same Instagram post. They declining enrollment has been a blame, and financial turmoil has been to blame. But again, allegedly, no one saw this coming. Even the people on the side of UArts are saying they're trying to make sense of this. And it's like, well, if y'all don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. President Walk said that she became aware of a significant cash flow problem on May 14th. And that's according, again, to the Inquirer, and that it became clear that it was much worse than it seemed. And so I want to kind of talk about how the communication was. The university did send out an email to students, faculty, and staff a little before 8 p.m., but this really seemed to come out of the blue for everyone.
It really did. And, folks are scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. Luckily, my prediction immediately came true. The surrounding schools in Philadelphia that with thriving arts programs, Temple, Drexel, Moore College of Art, they all came forward and, made a statement that they're welcoming UArts students. And that's very cool. And that's going to be great for all of those schools. But then the question came up, well, what about the students that are enrolled in degree programs that are unique to UArts that these other schools don't even offer? I am interested in seeing the collaborations that are going to come through because, at least in my experience, what I noticed was UArts just in terms of dancers, for instance, UArts produced the dancers that all the choreographers wanted to use. And the choreographers they wanted to work with came from Temple. So that relationship is still there. So I'm curious to see how that works out. And I'm really curious to see how the style and the culture is going to shift, because there's going to be a learning curve with going to these other schools that already have their own culture and their own vibe, and what's going to click, what's going to not going to mix. What about the huge number of faculty that now don't have jobs? Are they also going to be able to join these other schools? So, even the higher echelon of the arts community, aren't rolling in it and needed that job. So that's a big blow. And then I was also wondering, like, what is the makeup of the city going to look like? Because the faculty and the students, a lot of them, UArts is the only reason why they're in the city in the first place. You know what I mean? And UArts has a very, very, very wide reach in the city through the economy and the culture sector. And I think we're going to be feeling these ripples for a very, very long time.
Yeah. The union that also represents UArts faculty and staff said they had received no communication about even the possibility of a closure. I also read that State Representative Ben Waxman said that he believes that there should be an independent investigation just about how all of this was conducted. And that was according to some reporting in the Inquirer. UArts isn't the only Pennsylvania school to fall under some hard times lately. Cabrini University made their decision last year to close its doors effective this spring. And, speaking of arts programs, Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts announced in January that it would be eliminating its degree programs. University Arts had seen enrollment shrink nearly in half over a 10-year period. So back in 2013, there were over 2,000 students. In 2023, the number of students was about 1,200. And that's all according to the Inquirer. So, yeah, this is big.
It is big. And, I keep thinking of different things, different problems that are going to result from this. Like the least of which being, again, they were supposed to be graduating. Now what? You have incoming freshmen that already put deposits down for next year. Now what? Auditions for other schools long gone. Again, thank goodness for Temple and Drexel and more. But this is crazy. Just a whole ecosystem has just been yanked whole cloth out of the city at one time.
Right. And yesterday I saw social media posts and articles of people demonstrating outside of University Arts Hamilton Hall on South Broad Street. Some folks were holding signs. Some were even making art. But I think overall, you kind of get a sense that the sentiments were pretty clear. People were angry and shocked by the school's sudden closure. But we will keep our eyes on any ongoing developments throughout the week because, again, the school does plan to close Friday, June 7th. More news of the week after the break. All right. For all you Philly foodies out there, I'm sure you've heard the news about 4th Street Deli in Queen Village. So just to catch you up, if you haven't heard, this neighborhood staple was forced to close by the city's health department because of health code violations last Wednesday. But according to the Inquirer, it has now reopened. It reopened on Friday. So have any of you eaten at 4th Street Deli?
I have.
Okay, what'd you get?
I had the sturgeon sandwich. And it was so good. It was so expensive, but it was worth it.
Can you describe what that is?
Sturgeon is like this huge fish. Mm-hmm. It's very meaty. And so it's like this huge stack of a fish sandwich. Because, they pile everything high at 4th Street. It was very good.
Okay, so you've eaten there?
Yeah.
Like, how long ago was that? Like, did you get a vibe of, like, this is a clean place? This is like a dirty place?
I mean, it was a while ago. And, there's a certain level of cleanliness that you're going to give a leeway to with certain places. It's like, if it's too clean, the food ain't going to be that good. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, even like if you get, I've been on this like cheesesteak journey. I'm eating a bunch of cheesesteaks for journalism reasons. And not everyone has been, like sparkling clean, but
Yeah.
Right.
the steak's been good. So
Right.
I kind of agree with you on that. Well, here are the violations. Brace yourselves,
Ooh.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Mouse droppings on the slicer
No.
and on prep tables.
Oh.
Yeah, that one hurt me.
Ooh.
No chlorine observed in the dishwasher's sanitizing solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll ding you for that. Yep. I also saw for 4th Street there was an issue of pink slime in the ice machine. That's a big thing. I learned that lesson the hard way. If you don't clean that ice machine regularly, at least twice a week, that's just a naturally occurring thing that can happen. But if you stay on top of it, you don't have that problem.
Pink slime? Ugh.
And we had that problem once. And not again. Yeah, it's a thing, like, because the ice machine has constantly running water at a certain temperature. And it's just a buildup that'll happen. And like, there's a whole bunch of little crevices that you have to get into, and you have to get in there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's freaking me out. I'm going to order no ice now. I'm just like, no ice. Just give me no ice.
Must be so hard to be a restaurant owner.
This is what I read in the Inquirer. The owner, Al Gamble, who, by the way, is a restaurant veteran from New England, he bought 4th Street Deli in January, and he says he's corrected the violations. This is odd to me because for someone that has experience, like, how did you miss this? And this is such an iconic Philly place.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like you kind of dropped the ball a little bit. But I'm glad that you're correcting the violations, but it just seems like you've been in the game for too long to kind of let this like slip.
Those are big violations too. Those aren't little.
Yeah, exactly. And I know about the Philadelphia Health Department. I'm a former bar owner in Tacony. And while we were there, we got a new health inspector who was very stringent and by the book.
Right.
I mean, and that's great, as it should be. But that's when we found out that a lot of people were getting by on handshakes and nods, and now when you actually have to go by the book, it's a little harder, so things that you used to be able to get away with, you can't get away with anymore.
So if you ever go to New York City, you ever notice how restaurants post their grades in the store windows?
Yep.
I actually wish we had stuff like that. And I dug up a little bit. So according to nyc.gov, ABC Eats is where you can find health inspection results for New York City's over 27,000 restaurants. So they have an entire program like dedicated to like making sure that, customers are aware that, inspections are being kept up with, that type of thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's great.
I wish Philly had that. But in Philly, we do have a website where you can look up food inspection safety reports at philly.gov, and we'll have that link in the show notes.
Yeah, I remember looking at all the when they list all the violations from every restaurant in the city that's been visited by the health department, and they give you everything, blah, blah, blah. If you look too deep, you won't want to do anything but cook for yourself.
Ever again.
Okay. I know we've been having fun, so let's have some more fun. Our final segment is our Philly news quiz. Are any of you sneakerheads?
I'm a wannabe sneakerhead.
Yeah. I love shoes. I dabble in sneakers, but...
Okay. You guys like shoes? Well, last week, local sneakerheads went crazy over the release of a new sneaker. They are the Nike Dunk Low Philly shoes. That's right. We have got our own sneaker, y'all. It's gray with a color swoosh and the word Philly on the back. You might have seen the Philly Fanatic and our Philly second baseman, Bryson Stott, rocking these sneakers. They did like a whole social media campaign. So my quiz question for y'all is, this is according to the Inquirer, people lined up for a really long time outside of what streetwear and apparel store? Was it A, Common Ground? Was it B, Lapstone and Hammer? C, Encanto Kicks and Coffee?
Ooh.
Or D, Art History 101?
I definitely read the story, but I'm not sure I remember the name.
I hope it's art history because I want to give them a shout out.
Okay, Charles says Art History. Abby, what are you going for?
I'm going to go with Encanto Kicks and Coffee because that just sounds really cool and I want to visit
I know,
that.
right? It's a sneaker store, and it's a coffee shop.
Yeah, love it.
Unfortunately, you both are wrong. I'm sorry. Boom, boom, boom. The actual answer is Lapstone and Hammer, which is located at 1106 Chestnut Street.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, cool.
So the retail price for this sneaker is $135, which I feel like is okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Feels normal. Yeah.
I may not want to pay that price. I would look at, keep it like 99 and below.
You should see these eBay prices I'm looking at.
But it's a Nike Dunk, so it's like, you got to pay. You're going to get a good sneaker. According to the Inquirer, its slogan is for Philly by Philly. So there's a whole story behind this shoe. According to the Inquirer, the store owner of Lapstone and Hammer, Brian Adov, he's actually a Temple graduate, and he took Nike around the city to tell the quote-unquote story of native Philadelphians. One that's just not the Liberty Bell and cheesesteaks. If y'all had to take Nike on a tour of Philly, where would you take Nike?
Ooh, where am I taking Nike?
Right.
That's a great question. I feel like the first thing that came to mind for me was like the skate park at FDR Park, because I feel like people have a lot of cool like skate shoes there. And nice. That I think Nike would appreciate it.
That sounds right. Sadly, my thought would be I'd get a time machine and take him to South Street in 1997.
Why you say that?
Well, first of all, that was my heyday, and that would be the vibe that I would want to show them. But I would take them to the rotunda for the gathering where the actual sneakerheads would be. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think I would take Nike to Hunting Park and let them meet some kids that are cheerleading, that are playing football, and just rock out with the kids and just like that whole community. It's such a diverse community over there at Hunting Park, and I would take them there. That's where I feel like you can meet and get stories of native Philadelphians.
Yeah.
These are great spots.
All right, Abby, it's your turn.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys too. So, according to Billy Penn, we have more bus station news. Wow. More. So
this is the story that doesn't end. It just
literally. Well, hopefully this is the end, but we'll see. So the Greyhound bus terminal has been at various temporary locations since Greyhound sold off their bus station building on Filbert Street last summer. And now it seems like there's been controversy that has followed them to each of their temporary locations that they've been at. And they are, again, looking to move the station. So my question for you guys is, are they looking to move it to the 30th Street area? That's A. B, Washington Avenue. C, Christopher Columbus Boulevard. Or D, on Poplar Street near the Girard SEPTA stop in the Met.
Why would they even? That's gotta be wrong. That last one has got to be wrong. I'm gonna say 30th Street because that's what makes sense for me.
Okay. How about you, Charles?
Right. I'm like thinking of all the traffic that would add to those already high traffic areas. So none of them are a great idea, but 30th Street does make the most sense.
Yeah, Okay. Well, you guys are right. Yay! They're actually going to take it to 30th Street. And we've talked with Mayor Rindy, a reporter at Billy Penn, a couple times now about this story. And everybody has kind of been like, why are you not putting it at 30th? And so finally, they heard the complaints and they are looking to move it there. So the city was recently awarded a $90,000 grant from the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, which is helping them evaluate 3 different pre-identified locations that could work for this terminal. The city hasn't announced the exact locations yet, but they said they are all around the 30th Street area, either north, south, or west of 30th Street, which Mayor mentioned in his article just means it's not in the Schuylkill River. So I thought that was funny. And they do not have a timeline yet on when it's going to open, but we're definitely going to keep our eye on that story. And I'm very excited that this is where they're putting it. So finally.
All right. That was Abby Fritz, producer here at CityCast Philly, and Charles Tyson Jr., CityCast Philly's arts and culture contributor. This was fun, y'all.
It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Trinae.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Did you know all the answers to the news quiz? If you enjoyed this midweek roundup, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.
So that tagline was for Philly by Philly. Did they spell for PHOR? Because if not, that's a missed opportunity.
No, they did. They stuck with the regular FOR.
Just say it.